Hi everyone, this is Maggie from Journaling with Maggie. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you for coming back. Please, if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. And leave me a comment if you have time. If you could leave a comment as to where you're watching from, that would really be nice. One of my earlier viewers did that, Denise. She said she was from the UP in Michigan, and that just brought back a flood of memories to me from my years in Michigan and all of our trips to the UK, camping up there and going to Mackinac Bridge, and it just was really nice. So I appreciate that, Denise. Thank you. Okay, so let's just get started. We're working on the mini photo album for baby boy, specifically my new great-grandson. And let me just recap what we've done so far. We built the base, and the base is 8 by 6, so the chipboard was 8 by 6, and the spine is determined by how many papers you're going to put in, and it's a 1/2 inch for each paper. So I decided to put 6 papers in this, so my spine is 3 inches long. Now in this first one that I made, a little girl one, you can see the difference in the spine. This is a 2-inch spine, and that's because I put 4 papers in. So this is a 3-inch spine. The back and front cover are 8 by 6. We have covered the inside in our spine, and we have installed the papers. This needs to be folded down a little tighter. And each paper is 11 by 11 inches long by 8 inches tall, and it's scored at 1/2 inch and 6 inches, which gives you this little fold over, so the part of the page is a little bit shorter than the rest. So I'm hoping that each side, each page will be 2 months. So we have 1 month, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and so forth. So each side will be for a month that the baby's parents can put pictures in, or mementos, or notes from the doctor, whatever they want to put in here. Okay, so we have that. We're going to start working on that today. These are some of the die cuts that I may be using. I'm not entirely sure yet. This is a pocket, a little pocket die cut. Now I wasn't sure if I wanted the big one or the small one, but so I got them both out. Okay, this is for a little onesie and a little bow tie that can go in there for a little boy. And then there's just these little round medallions, a little duck, footprints, safety pin, baby, a small little duck. Can't see those. There's a little small little duck right here. So there you go. And then a safety pin. And just a little duck. I can pick it up. A little duck. So So we'll see what I decide to use. These would primarily be for the covers, or maybe to put on a pocket. But I don't need to decide that right now. I guess some people would have it all planned out exactly what they're going to do. And I think I've tried to do that in times past, but to get a general idea. I just don't know for sure, I guess. I don't have it planned out verbatim, but I do have a general idea. Okay, so I did start cutting some papers. We'll see how far we get. These papers right here are for the front and back cover. So there's this will go on the front, and you want to cut these papers, if you ever decide to make one of these, 1/4 inch smaller than you did the base. So this would be 7 3/4 by 5 3/4. Same thing for the spine. Would be 7 3/4 by 2 3/4. So we have our front and back. This is going to be the inside and the back cover. This, I don't know if you can see this or not. Let me hold it up. This is just polka dot, blue polka dots on white paper. Now these papers came from a paper pack that I purchased online from an Etsy shop called K and May, KAYANDMAY, K and May. And it's the blue printable digital papers, junk journal pages, background pages, background designs, baby blue journal paper. And I think I counted 12 different designs, and they are really quite nice. And that was $1.99. So that's where those came from. And those are probably the ones I'm going to attach first. Now these pages came from nice Stemperia pads. And these will go, I'm not sure what order yet. These will go on these pages right here. I haven't cut the smaller pages yet. Nor have I cut enough for these pages because I need a front and a back. So that was the little clouds. I could turn this over and put the little polka dots on this one. The little polka dots, the clouds. We have polka dots on a brown paper, and the back side of that is little hearts on a white paper, and stars. And the other side of this is just was the front cover for the paper pack. So I've got a little bit here to get started on. I do need to cut some for the side pages that fold out. I need to just fold it down a little bit better. So our pages will just flip like this. I'm afraid I didn't really fold these as flat as they could be, because I was anxious to get them in. Alright, so there we go, that's a little bit better. Alright, so I hope everyone is doing well today, and that you're having a beautiful day wherever you are. This is right now Saturday early afternoon, and you'll be seeing this sometime on Sunday or whenever you decide to watch it. So I hope your day is as pretty as it is here. It's a little windy outside here in Houston, but the sun's shining and it is very, very pretty out. All my little puppy dogs are downstairs, so I don't need to worry about them barking. Okay, so I think I'm going to start by putting on the front and back covers, which are our blue with white polka dots. And I am glad I decided to go with the white. I was going to use an off-white, but I'm glad I decided to stick with the white. Alright, now wish me luck, because this is not the easiest part for me. I try to get them down even, but I don't always succeed. And I should have filled this glue container, but I didn't. I forgot. So I think I'm just going to use my Elmer's glue. So, are you all doing anything interesting today? I'm, other than working on my journals and making my video, I'm not doing anything too exciting. I find that with the Elmer's glue you have a little bit of a wiggle room if you are, I need to put my glasses on, if you don't, press it down too soon. So try to get this as centered on here as I can. I have in times past literally tore my page up, not placing it down straight, and then trying to move it because the glue just adheres really quickly. Let's come over a little bit. That looks pretty straight. Hopefully it is. This little corner up here needs a touch of glue. I'm sorry I'm quiet. I'm just trying to concentrate on getting this glued down correctly. I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I'm not sure what was wrong. My one eye was all swollen up and very, very agitated and draining. But it seems pretty much all cleared up today, thank goodness. I'm very happy about that. Hopefully it'll stay like that. Let me see if I just do this a little bit faster. I'm going a little bit too slow. So a little story about the Upper Peninsula in Michigan on the Mackinac Bridge. I'm not sure how long my husband and I had been married at this time, but a few, maybe 6 years, because I think our oldest daughter was about 4 or 5 at the time we did this. But we decided we wanted to buy a boat. Now, mind you, neither one of us had any knowledge of boating. I had definitely never been exposed to that as a child, and neither had my husband. He may have been out on a boat with friends, but certainly not the captain. So we purchased this boat, and once I get this glued down here, I'm going to try to line these all up as closely as I can get. I think that looks all right. Anyway, we had purchased this boat. I know everybody knows about Michigan being shaped like a mitten. Well, we lived over here in by Saginaw Bay, and we bought this boat over here on this side of Michigan. So we didn't even think about transporting it by land. It probably was too expensive. So we decided to transport it by water. And we decided to do this. Mind you, it was late winter, early spring. So the marinas were not open yet because of the weather. It was nice when we bought the boat, and it was nice. The weather was mostly nice when we brought the boat home. But we bought this boat here and set out to transport it by water over here. So off we go. My one sister-in-law and her husband were so worried for us that they insisted that we give them, in case something happened to us, that we give them custody of our daughter, because they were so worried something was going to happen to us, that we were going to drown. Well, it's only by the grace of God that we didn't, I'll be honest, because we had no idea what we were doing. And we discovered all these charts and maps in the boat, in one of the cubbies. We had no idea how to read them. We didn't know port from starboard. I mean, seriously, we were a mess. But we took off. My husband cannot swim a stroke. So he went and bought the best, most expensive life jacket he could find in the marine store. And so he would have that. And I had a life vest as well, but not quite that. I could swim, but he couldn't swim a stroke, and refused to learn when he was a kid. So we got our life vests. We stocked our supplies, so we could cook. We were going to cook on the boat and sleep on it and do everything. It wasn't too bad. However, like I said, the marinas were not open, and that posed a problem for us because we had to fuel up, we didn't want to run the boat all night, so we needed to have someplace that we could pull into, we had some real perils along this trip. I mean, we didn't know what the buoys meant that we kept passing. So finally, we it's been so long now, I can't remember exactly where we were, but we were trying to stay as close to the land as we could. We didn't really want to venture out into the shipping lanes because we figured that would just be a little bit too perilous for us. As it turned out, that wasn't true. And the one marina that we did pull into, there was a gentleman there. We thought he was an angel. I'm not kidding you. We did not know how to tie off this boat or anything, but he helped us bring the boat in. And he explained to us the port side he explained all that to us. And then he told us that we need to get out into the shipping lane because around the Great Lakes in Michigan, in certain areas in particular, the Indians are still allowed to fish with nets, and they lay there because we kept seeing these like empty bleach bottles and so forth, and wondering what in the world, with corks, and we kept wondering what in the world are these. We had no idea. And he told us that those were nets that were in the water to catch the fish. And he said he personally has seen more than one smaller boat like ours be sucked into those nets and just totally drug right down and sank. He said the summer before that he had saw a whole family. That happened to a whole family. So he said, get out into the shipping lane and stay there. You're much safer. Well, we had no idea that was indeed the case. So, okay, now we got our front and back. So we took him to heed. We thanked him so profusely for what he had done for us, and we continued on our way. Well, the next, pretty soon we began to see the Mackinac Bridge, which is, if you've never seen the Mackinac Bridge or never been to the Mackinac Bridge, it's quite a majestic piece of construction, and it's just a fantastic bridge. And we could see it from miles off, and we kept thinking, when are we ever going to get to the Mackinac Bridge? When are we ever going to get there? Well, we just kept going and going. Finally, it seemed like it was getting closer and closer, and we made it through and under the Mackinac Bridge. And that was another thing, at that time of the year that we decided to make this trek, the waters could still be frozen. It was still the tail end of wintertime, and those lakes get very, very cold, and the water is very, very cold, and you have ice in a lot of places. Well, we were so fortunate that when we went under the Mackinac Bridge, the sky was clear. It was just beautiful outside. Just beautiful, just beautiful. The waters were calm, and we just went under that bridge like we knew what we were doing. And we owed a lot to be thankful to that man that met us there. So let's start on the inside covers. So anyway, by then we started over here. We were still up here. This took us a good week, if I remember correctly. We were up here under the Mackinac Bridge, but we still had to go all the way down here. And that's where some of our troubles really began. But I'm not going to go into that right now. But needless to say, we had ourselves an adventure. We learned a lot from it. And it was actually a memory. We made memories that we treasured the rest of our lives. So thank you, Denise, for helping me to bring those memories to the forefront of my mind again. I appreciate it. My husband and I were not afraid to take an adventure, to do something out of the ordinary or different. it never dawned on us really that any harm would come to us. We were either had too much faith in the Lord, or we were just too trusting. I'm not, or just stupid. I'm not sure what it was really. But we did take a lot of adventures. We weren't afraid to try. Weren't afraid to try new things. And sometimes they were successful and sometimes they weren't. But in the long run, no real harm was done. And we learned things that we would not have otherwise have learned. Let's see if I can get this one on straight. Now again, this cover piece is 8 by 6. So this piece of paper here is 7 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now I guess you can make this any size you want to be, really. There's no, have seen some videos on YouTube of much smaller ones, much larger ones, all sorts of flip outs and gate closures and just beautiful pieces. My friend Lori from the Old Paper Lady, she has made beautiful, beautiful folio mini albums with all the flip outs and everything. She just has done a marvelous job. I don't think she makes them quite as much as she used to since she's gotten into junk journals, but she did beautiful work. But of course there are videos out there of people that I think that the mini albums are pretty much all that they do. And just from watching some of the videos, it feels like maybe they've kind of gone out of vogue, but maybe I'm just not watching the right creators. I'm not sure. But I do like these. They make a nice gift. It seems that we don't print out our, so we got our front and back done. Now comes the fun part, but yet the difficult part. It seems like we don't print out, we don't go to the grocery store, the drugstore or whatever with our roll of film and get our pictures printed out anymore. We keep them all on our camera. However, that can be a problem because it can, we can lose them if we lose our memory, if we have a crash in our phone. Of course, now too, everything is pretty much stored in the cloud, which is huge. But maybe I'll put this on here. But we just don't go out and print them out anymore and put them into photo albums. I'm sure there are people out there who still do that on a regular basis. But now with all of these little portable photo printers, I think that's maybe becoming a little bit more popular, or may become more popular again as people print out little pictures and then want a place to put them. And to make this not only just a photo album, but a little journal of whatever they're taking pictures of. In this case, it would be a new baby boy. And they can kind of track his progress throughout the year. They can write in it, they can paste pictures in it, they can do whatever they want without it actually, the obligation of it actually being a journal. Alright, so do we have something here that will fit that? This is also Stamperia Daydream Blue. Beautiful little pages in it. I don't know, what do you decisions. I'll see if I would have planned this all out beforehand, I wouldn't be having to make these decisions, but hey, you just go with the flow, you know? Okay, so I kind of like that. Or maybe this. No, I don't want that border right there. Oh dear, what am I going to do, guys? What am I going to do? I think I kind of like this one. Alright, so this needs to be, let me remind myself again how big this is. Again, these sheets are 11 inches total, and they're scored, and they're 8 inches tall, and they're scored at 1/2 inch, and then 6 inches, which is 5.5 inches. So they need to be 7 3/4 tall and 5 3/4 wide. Okay. So let's get this cut down. Oh, actually, this is 4 3/4 for here. 4 3/4. And this is an 8 by 8 paper pad. Okay, so this could go in here, and this could go in here. Look at me, how crooked I am. The center of my cutting mat here is actually where I should stay, because that's where what the camera is seeing. Oh, sorry if I get my head in here. So sorry. So sorry. That's straight. So I will, well, I can see now from right here that this is crooked. It's going that way. I will install a pocket here in the front and the back. I'm not sure what paper I'll use yet for that. Since it's a boy, can't put a lot of lace or frilly things, but I do have some pretty little blue eyelet that I might put a strip across for the pocket. And I got a corner sticking up, and that is because I don't get my glue as close to the edge as I can, because I can't glue a straight line. I'm going to have glue easing out of there. Now, I do believe if you're a beginner, this is something that you could make, as long as you understand some of the basic things about measuring. I mean, I know some people really don't measure that much, but this is a case where you do need to measure, and your measurements need to be fairly accurate in order for it to come out right and look right. So we're just going to put this right here. I could do this. Oh, I think I like that side better. Oh, here I go being all quiet again. Oh my gosh, that same boat, again, we had no idea what we were doing. And one 4th of July, we decided to invite the cousins from Lansing. It was our family, and there must have been 12, probably 12 of us all together, maybe more, that didn't go on the boat. But we decided, now we had no idea that, number one, we were being completely unsafe, and number two, we were breaking the law. We had no idea. And I probably shouldn't even tell this because it sounds like we were being reckless, but we weren't really. Thought we were just going to enjoy the fireworks. So we decided we wanted to take the fireworks out into farther into the water where we could, into the lake, where we could see the fireworks better. Now, mind you, none of us drink. My family, nobody in my family drank a drop of alcohol. It just wasn't, we just didn't do that. And my husband went through his whole life, his military, his time in the military in Vietnam without ever taking a drop of alcohol, never. So nobody was drinking on this boat because we didn't have it. Nobody even thought to make it part of the festivities. So it wasn't because people were drinking. It was simply because we were ignorant. And we put all these people on this boat, children included, and headed out with not enough safety vests for everybody into deeper waters so we could watch the fireworks. Shameful. I know it was shameful. And I shouldn't laugh because it was really taking our loved ones' lives and our lives in our hands. But again, we didn't know and we didn't do it on purpose. Once we learned, we then never ever did anything like that again. Anyway, we ended up getting pulled over by the Coast Guard. I don't even know if he gave us a ticket because I think we explained that, we explained it to him just like I did you, that we were not looking to make any trouble. We just wanted to go watch the fireworks. So, I'll put this one here. So I don't think he gave us a ticket. He just gave us a stern warning and told us to get that boat back from whence it came and to get these people off the boat. So we had to, by land, we were several miles from where our dock was. But he made us get all the people off the boat except for whoever was going to navigate the boat back to its home dock. And we had no way of getting back, so we had to wait for them to take the boat back, get it all tied off at the dock, and then bring a couple of vehicles to pick us up. Now, mind you, we were just in our early 20s. We married young, and we were just in our early 20s when we did that. But we learned a huge lesson. Thankfully, we learned a huge lesson without anybody getting hurt. We were protected, and as we were throughout our life in so many situations. Okay, I got one. Actually, this goes pretty fast. I know I'm being slow because I'm doing it on camera and I'm trying to talk to you too. I don't want to come across as being not sociable, of course. And so it really does go together fairly quickly. I need to trim some of this off. This needs to be 5 3/4, or I'm sorry, 4 3/4. I'll save these little pieces to do a collage board. Okay, so this video is for Sunday. On Monday, I will put up another masterboard Monday for masterboard. And then on Tuesday, we will get back to the making of this, and I think we'll probably finish it up. Well, I'm not gonna say because best laid plans, you know how they go. So last I heard, my little great-grandson, I haven't spoken with my daughter yet today, he had been in the NICU for a possible infection. And so they put him in the NICU and started him on antibiotics. And last I heard, he was doing well. He was stable. That was of last night. I think his mommy's supposed to be discharged today. I know she'll be happy. Or maybe she won't. A lot of moms, if their babies are in the NICU, they don't want to go home. And I totally understand that. Some hospitals do make allowances for mothers to be able to stay past their scheduled discharge date. But he may be going home today. Like I said, I haven't talked to my daughter yet today to find out what the latest is. I'm praying that all is well with him. After being a NICU nurse for so many years, unfortunately, that raises my level of awareness to the things that can happen and go wrong with a baby. Okay, so our first page is complete. And how long have we been on here? 45 minutes. So I think I'm going to stop for now. I may continue to put, that took me about 45 minutes to put in, to do one page and to do the front and back cover and the inside cover. So this is where we're at. I may continue offline to decorate the pages. Like I said, I do not mean for this to be a tutorial. This is only the second one I've made. But you know that saying, see one, do one, teach one. So I'm just showing you how I learned to do it. And if you're interested in seeing more of this as far as an instructional video goes. I will try to find Miss Lori's video and link it in the description box, and I will do some further work with it with you as well. So just let me know. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, no matter what time of the day it is or what day it happens to be when you watch this. And be blessed and stay healthy and do something nice for yourself. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.